Good morning, Tradeify Nation, and welcome to another London session stream. This is the first one of the week. It is Monday, the 2nd of February, 2026, and I'm ready for another banger week. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're crushing it, and I hope you're ready. So if you are, put a 1 in the chat. Keep that energy high. And also, let's give a warm welcome to Coach Tank, who's in the chat. Like, damn, Coach Tankerton in the chat. Awesome. So let's get started. Looking at charts, I already took an L. Boo. Little golden pocket trade, unfortunately didn't work out because stopped out for 23 points. But let's break this down and let's look at the charts and what happened in the overnight session. First of all, on the daily, right? Obviously, we are currently in a downtrend following Friday's massive candle to the downside and, of course, Thursday's candle. I am going to be going through the 1 hour mainly because today we did have a new week opening gap as we had them for a while now, every week. But basically, we open at 25,530. We pretty much, after a big move to the downside, we closed the gap like pretty much right away. At 7 p.m. it was already closed. And then since then, we kept dropping to the downside. We found our floor here on NQ, 25,180, and since then have been pushing up. As I said, I took a GP trade here, but didn't work out. That's cool. I'm gonna look for other trades. Overall, in a downtrend until we break market structure here, until we close through 25,367. Why is 67 popping up so often? I don't get it. Well, anyways, 25,367. Once we close through that, we have VWAP above it at 3840, 384, sorry. And yeah, certainly going to be an important level. Levels that I'm looking at to the upside, obviously previous week low, which is what was rejected here at 11:30 p.m. 25,365, then VWAP, of course. And if we keep pushing, then of course the quarterly open, yearly open. But let's see if we go that far. I mean, that would be another 130 points. But right now the market is moving very, very fast. I mean, if we look at this, right, the ATR right now on the 1 hour chart is 132, like in the overnight session. That is insane. On the 5 minute chart, it is 32. Usually during the London session, like a 5 minute chart ATR is probably like anywhere between 10 and max 20 points. And now it's a cool almost 33 points. So pretty big moves in the overnight session. We got to be careful. It is probably smart to de-risk today and go with smaller size, but that's obviously up to you. Now, ES did follow the exact same path, right? We had our weekly daily open at 6939.50, made the wick to the downside, closed the gap, Asia high at 6965. And by the way, the market just opened, ding, 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 ding. Big Ben is calling. And since then, have been dropping pretty steadily until we found our floor at 6864 and are now retesting this quarterly open, yearly open level. Yeah, we're gonna see how this is gonna play out. But for now, as said, very, very big moves. Be careful. Gold, on the other hand, let's look at gold. Pretty much since the open, very, very similar move to NQ and ES. Have been dropping from the open at 4813, actually 200 points, even more, 400 points to the low, and are now trying to hold up here, but it does look like it wants to go lower. But let's see. Let's find out. You know what? Maybe that GP short works out on gold. Yeah, it would be. We can trade this with like 1 micro on gold. Put MGCJ. I can try literally like 1 micro on gold for a bigger move here, for a bigger trade. That's what I'm gonna try. 4605.1 is the entry. Let me put this on the charts here. 4605.1. There we go. Hey, Coach Tank, also shorting gold. Well, what's your order, Tank? Like, what would be your entry? 4645.5 is gonna be my stop. Actually a bit lower. And then target is gonna be this 15-minute candle body low at 4475. Something like this. And now we wait and see if this works out. All right. By the way, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Leia. Good morning, Heinz XD. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Coffee Why Not. Good morning, Remy. Good morning, Kuro. Good morning, Nish. Good morning, Sky's Limit. Good morning, Fioshi. Good morning, MI Trade F. Good morning, Kismas. Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Marius. Good morning, Yosef. Good morning, Hogue. Good morning, all you guys. Oh, okay, coach, you just got to enter too. Nice. So we're both in gold shorts. I'm literally trading gold with 1 micro because of how fast it moves and how big these candles are. As said, my entry was 4605.1. My TP is going to be 4475. And then stop is 4643.2. And now we wait. 4643. Gotta zoom in. So much gold is moving so fast. It's crazy. Yeah, you're also 1 micro short. Nice. Nice. All right, NQ keeps pushing up. ES as well. ES is now at quarterly open, yearly open. Strong hold here on gold. It's incredible. Like within 2 minutes, I was up 24 points on gold. It's absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. By the way, chat, let's hit the like button because once we reach 414 likes, 414 likes, we're gonna do a giveaway and maybe even with a little spin the wheel. Let's find out. All right, for now, we just wait. We just wait and see what happens. Kuro says, can we negotiate to 350 likes? No. Do the work. Hey, good morning, Cheese Balls. How are you? Tank, what's your TP? I'm targeting these 15-minute candle lows, like candle body lows. Well, Zampic says, give us Celine or we riot. Dude, Celine's gonna come back. Chill. Morning, Zampic. She's I think she's traveling home now. She'll be back on stream on Wednesday. All right, NQ back at VWAP now. Getting this market structure shift at 368. ES, same thing. They're flying. They are flying. Within 5 minutes of the session opening, like London session, we just made 54 points. Remember, sometimes after an hour, we don't have a 50-point range. Lulu says, morning, Nicky Wiki Whitey Hoodie. Good morning. Francesca's asking, she's not back yet? Well, do you see her? Wow, we're up 10 points on gold. Yeah, Leia, it's crazy. She has literally like a 30+ hour travel to get back to Bali. How was everybody's weekend? What did you guys do? Tell me. What did you do on your weekend? Let's hear it, everybody. 6K82, damn, kept shorting MNQ and gave back what I just made. Yeah, I took 2 losses on MNQ as well this morning, so it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I shorted it as well, twice. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. We're valid setups. And sometimes they don't play out. And now we wait. Gold is trying to hold here. Trying to push. I don't like that, to be honest. All right, NQ is rejecting VWAP here. Will VWAP bounce? Yeah, this 5-minute candle is potentially ugly if it keeps pushing. Pankaj, is the government shutdown confirmed? Let me see. Is there another shutdown gonna happen? Ooh, gold popping. Tank! We're getting stopped out. Yeah, there it is. Just got stopped out on gold. Damn. Strong push there. Very strong push. I'm out of this gold trade. I really need the US government to, like, if they're shut down, I need them to open until 11th of February, because that's when the next CPI is. We need the CPI candle. Yeah, Wandering Yogi, the metals are literally acting like meme coins right now. Freaking meme metals. Wild. Wild, wild, wild. Sion took a short in gold, 4644. That's where I just got stopped out. We just exchanged orders, my friend. Crazy, crazy session so far. What does it look like? What does it look like on the fractal model charts? Well, even there, hard to catch these moves. Very hard to catch these moves, actually. Tank almost dead. Oh, you're still in the gold long? The gold short? I have my stop above the high here at 43. Bonjour, Kim. How are we doing? Okay, tank stop is at 4657. Interesting. What made you put your stop at 4657? Tank. That's interesting. Hey, good morning, Idris. I see Tank. All right, NQ is now at VWAP, hanging around there, but trying to break it. Looks like it just wants to keep going up. Not even gonna lie. I said I had 2 valid short setups on NQ already. Took both of them, got stopped out twice. Two losses in a row on my funded accounts and my live account. So I'm done trading for the day on these accounts. Now the only account I'm trading is my eval. Very quick end of Monday for me. Let's see. Good morning, Certified Trading. Coach Tank says Friday open to now is a 50-minute downtrend line. Let's see. Friday open. From up here. You're trading trend lines, Tank? Really? Something like this? Well, more like this. Okay, Soon says I went long MGC 1 micro at 4642 about 3 hours ago and got killed. Went down 2k plus and just sold it for $17 loss. Damn. NQ is struggling up here, flattening out. These last 2 5-minute candles both have a clean sell-in wick from rejecting VWAP here. Let's see if we can break it to the downside. We wait. The 1 minute setting up for a nice bull flag break here on NQ. Honestly, I'm interested in that. I'm actually very interested in that. Bull flag break on VWAP. I mean. I'm gonna try it if it retraces back here, which it just did. Gonna try long here. Entry at 74.75, stop at 61. anticipating a bull flag break. All right, thank you. All right, chill. Almost got stopped out on this. Crazy, very, very tricky price action, not gonna lie. Very, very tricky. It's literally like enter a trade, boom, instantly down 10 to 20 points. Like crazy. Snap your fingers. Look away 1 second. I'm still in it for now. If it stops me out, it's going to be a failed break, failed bull flag, and then we might actually go down. Quentin says, never snap your fingers. What if I do? What if I do? Yusuf says, hey Nick, maybe silver. How about no? How about no, Yusuf? Penguin says, I snapped and there went my eval. No, Penguin. No. Plan will be to take one off shortly before the 400 level. But we really need to break this bull flag right now. Yep, that's what I want to see. But it really needs to break it. It needs to break it. The next significant level after the 400 level is gonna be 420. The meme level, chat, the meme level, that's where we're gonna set our second TP. If we get up there. We just need to push through the bull flag here. Need that break. Nice. Very nice. Doesn't really want to get follow through here, huh? Find out. Let's look at what gold is doing. Ah, damn, gold keeps popping. No, tank, no, you're getting stopped out. Well, yeah, Christian, I did enter on gold. I was up like 20 points, and then I got stopped out. Yeah, tank. That short looked way too nice, honestly. Like, it was great. Very, very valid setup, but sometimes they play out and sometimes they don't. Tank, by the way, instead of hanging out around in the chat, you want to come on? You want to come on stream? I can get you on if you want. If you got time. By the way, chat, in the meantime, smash that like button. We need 414 likes. We're sitting at 101. Now, thank you. Give me that TP one. Come on. Do it. Do it. 397 is TP1. 420 is TP2. Just one final pop. There we go. All right, TP1 hit. TP1 hit. TP2 is 420. Gonna move stop break even in case we fail to continue on the break. But that was clean. Oh shit, Tank just said, sure, give you 15 minutes. All right, Tank is gonna come on stream. Let's go, chat. Gonna have Coach Tank on stream in about 15 to 20 minutes. Yusuf, I'm assuming NW means Nicky Wiki. Or Nicholas Wickolas. Thanks, Nick Alex. We're still in this long. As said, stop of the second contract is at break even. Yes, Mike, I had a nice weekend off. How was your weekend? Actually, you know what? I did something crazy. So usually I'm filing my tax report thingy way too late, always. And yeah, last year I had to pay a fine because I was so late. So this weekend, I already did it for last year, which is literally the earliest I could have done it. And usually I would wait another 10 months. So I completed that. I did a high ropes training on a weekend, which was super intense. And besides that, just hung out with friends. It was nice. Good weekend. How about yours? Had a good rest? Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. I've got to set up everything here in the background really quick to bring Coach Tank on later. One second, I'm just setting everything up. All right. Oh, NQ coming back down. Failing to push through here. That's okay though. We'll break even. Maybe it doesn't stop us out. We'll find out. We will find out, chat. The Visionary says, W maxed out all my accounts for today. Here to boost the stream. Let's fucking go, man. Congrats. Great work. Ooh, NQ didn't stop us out. Let's go. Yusuf says, by the way, Nick, if not a secret, what's your tax rate in Switzerland? It's progressive like in the UK. Yeah, it is progressive. But I don't even know what my percentage is, honestly. I would say like 15%, something like that. M2 says, Nick, you sleep or just stay up for New York? assuming you're from India by how good your accent is with the head movement. Well, I stay up because right now it's 9:30 a.m. for me, and New York stream starts at 2:30 a.m. for me, 2:30 p.m. for me. So it's super chill. Super chill. Cheese balls, Switzerland max tax rate is like 35%, I think. But that's if you're stupid. If you're smart, you run everything through your LLC, and you pay yourself only as much as necessary. See, Quentin? Could just snap your fingers and gold goes up. Oh, NQ gets follow through. Nice. As said, TP2 is meme level. 25,420. Jesse, what part of Switzerland do I live in? I live in Lucerne, like right in the middle of Switzerland. Damn, Leah, you pay 50% taxes on profits? That sucks. In Switzerland, you pay 13% on taxes, on profits, company profits. Yeah, honestly, Yusuf, like anything above 15% is freaking robbery. Like countries with 50% tax rate, you're literally working half the year for the government. It's like, fuck that. I would be out. Come on, give us meme level 420. Do it. Do it. Vaza Viking is asking, how did Tradeify recruit you if you live in Switzerland? Well, I just applied. I applied when I opened the job for Tradeify TV host. Doesn't matter where you are. It's all remote anyways. It's all remote. Goiko, and then what's my benefit of doing a Delaware or Nevada LLC? Like, would there be any benefit for me? The Real Luca Belgium 33% taxes? Nah, fuck that. Ursula says, here's 45% max and min is 18%. Okay. It's too much. Too much. Switzerland is great tax-wise, honestly. Yeah, that's a fair point, Leah. That's a fair point. Yeah, Enki's just consolidating here. We're still in this trade, but I'm not really confident. Not really confident that we're going to get anywhere with it. What's more important though is that you invest in your long-term portfolio, guys. Like, if you don't invest regularly in a long-term portfolio, then start doing it like right now. Like right now. That's what's gonna make you money long-term. Compound interest is no joke. Oh, NQ, come on, give us 420. Just do it. But the moves are crazy on NQ. Like, look at these 1 minute candles. You go from 380 to 400 within literally like 2 minutes. God Jam, I invest into, so I buy Bitcoin weekly. I buy ETFs monthly. And yeah, well, but now that these are all ETFs, it's multiple ETFs that I buy monthly, and also I buy Tesla monthly. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, 405 now. NQ trying to break here. Hey, Fatu, good morning. All right, 411 now. Keep pushing, NQ. You can do it. You can do it. At 413, which is midpoint of today. We're gonna hold this. Give us that 50-pointer. Leah said, I thought of you, Nick, when I saw Bitcoin drop. Hey, honestly, I'm loving it. It's like every week I get more Bitcoin for the same amount of money. And I'm not looking to sell Bitcoin anytime soon, so it doesn't matter. Like, I love the dips. Give me the dips. What's important is that you don't get scared by the dips, and instead you just keep buying. I actually increased my weekly buy amount right now that Bitcoin is dipping. Gonna get more money in when it's dipping, and then reduce the amount when it's higher. Oh, NQ, what are you doing? Gold is now at 663. Crazy. We shorted it at 600-ish. What was my short entry on gold? Yeah, 604. Wow. Leah says, so there's no fear at all of it dropping to zero? No. Nope. I don't think that's gonna happen. There's too many really rich people with a lot of Bitcoin that will never let it go down to zero. Patrick PD, hey Nick, I want to give away 7 days ago, still haven't received an email. Yeah, be a bit patient because background Nick, DJ Nick the Potato was actually in Miami for Max, Big Daddy Max event. And because of that, he is a bit on a delay. So give him some time. He's going to send it to you. Don't worry. Come on, give us the meme level, 420. But yeah, Leah, overall, like Bitcoin is what I invest the least amount into. If you look at it on a monthly basis, the most, like by far the most goes into ETFs. Because long term, that's the safest bet. Ajit, do you have an active Tradeify account? And are you on GCJ6 when you look at gold? Guys, we still need some likes here. We need the likers. We're sitting at 155 likes on the stream. We need 414. I want to give you guys a special giveaway, but we need the likes. Finch, Nick, no metals in your long-term portfolio? No, actually, no. I missed that train. Should have done that a long time ago. But so be it. You can't capitalize on every opportunity. It's okay too. Some trains you just gotta let them ride without you. Coho, what about Nvidia? I don't have Nvidia. All right, 8 points away from TP. 25,420 is our max TP for a total of 45 points. Or maybe we get another Nicholas Wickler situation. Let's see. We're holding. We are holding, chat. Diamond Dance. Anybody in trades right now? Who's in a trade? And what trade are you in? 6K82 says, get them likes up. Yeah, hell yeah, get them likes up. Do it. 178 now. You're getting better, chat. Come on now, IQ. Give us the meme level. Give us the memes. Nick Alex says, Nick, you saw that trending meme reel where you guys says meow, gop, gop, gop? Nope. Haven't seen that. All right, come on, give us 420. So close. So close. Huge. Really? Nicholas Wickles situation? That would be funny. Another one. Ah, where did it go? No. Oh, here we go. Guys, this should have been filled, let's be honest. 419.5. I swear, if this is another one of those. I thought we left those behind us for January. Literally half a point away from TP. Half a point. I'm still confident though. Yeah, I'm in NQ, Simon. Leia says, would you ever consider trading stop loss instead of having TP2 just to try squeeze out more out of the market? I mean, I know what you're going to say. I mean, sometimes I do trail a stop. But I'm trying not to and trying to let trades play out. Unless I see an actual level where it makes sense to trail to. Well, Stan, if it reverses back to break even, I mean, then I don't know anymore. The amount of times it did that in January is absolutely comical. So comical. Hey, good morning, Andrea. How do you like gold today? Well, Stan, it happened to me literally like over 10 times in January. It was crazy. Never had an experience like that. Like over 10 times where price either didn't fill me and then ran to TP and it was like literally a tick away from my fill price, or it would stop me out by one tick and then run to TP, or it would turn around one tick before TP, like all these shitty things that happened in January. But I mean, let's start February neutral. That is the thing you gotta do. Ozempic on the rock says, if the stop will trail, he'll get wickless and fail. That's why we let it play out, Ozempic. Yeah, Andrea, gold is crazy right now. Crazy. Retest of 400 now on NQ. If it comes back down, I swear, like then I just don't understand it anymore. Koho says gold is like a mouse on crack. Have you ever seen a mouse on crack? I mean, chat, you're seeing this, right? Like, look where my TP is here. And where price came to. Literally 19.5 and TP is at 420. Stan says, if it comes back down, you give out 550k lightning accounts just because you didn't take that TP. Dude, like, then I'm already feeling bad. Then I got to give away stuff. You got to give me stuff if it comes back down. You inverse the roles here, like, come on. It's not how it works. Give us that final push. We can also just be greedy and target the yearly open, but I'm not gonna do that. Actually, I wonder now at this point, chat, who of you regularly, I mean at least monthly, invests into a long-term portfolio? Hey, good morning, Sons of Wall Street. Stan says, I will send you flowers or a pillow. You choose. I'll take a pillow. All right, Stan invests. Nice. Smart. Hitcha just started long-term. Nice. Hogue, several ETFs. Nice. Marius. Very good. 83 Iglos buys BTC every single month at any price. Hey, little tip there. If you want a better average price, invest weekly instead of monthly. Just take whatever you invest monthly and split it up into 4 payments. I have a 401k and invest in my company stocks since they also match 15%. Nice. Have some crypto, but I'm not investing anymore. Nick, Alex, why are you not investing anymore? All right, Andrea. Cascus, you're investing £50 a day. That's like 1,500 a month. Nice. Leah, there are still long-term savings accounts with good interest in Sweden? That's crazy. How much interest do you get on that? Johnny says invest in evals. I mean, that's a way to leverage money. Invested on memes, was a millionaire for seconds, but they rocked bull. Ouch. I invested dividend stocks since I've been 20 years, been doing it 40 years now. Wow. That's impressive, Kim. Gold pumped, says Christian. Oh yeah, wow. Crazy. Jonathan, slept in today. Dude, the market is crazy today. Be careful. Hon YT, this is the 1 minute chart right now. I always look at the 1 minute once I'm in a trade. All right, Coach Tank in the waiting room. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna add him really quick. 1 second.
Hello, mate.
1 second, I'm adding you. I gotta go grab my AirPods really quick. You can hear me, Tank, right? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna grab my AirPods because otherwise they hear you twice. 1 sec.
Fine.
All right. 1 second. You're probably going to be labeled as Celine, but that's just how it is.
That's no problem.
Let's see. All right, there is our new Celine. Good morning, Tank. How we doing? Jack, can you hear him? Can you say yes, please, if you hear Tank? Gotta make sure.
Good morning, everybody.
That's funny that you're labeled as Celine and I can't even change it.
I'll take it. Shall I try an Aussie accent?
Yeah, try it.
No, we're not doing accents anymore, are we? We're not doing accents anymore.
No, I can't, unfortunately. All right, Tank, good morning. I can hear you. Hope all is well. How was your weekend?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Yes, not too bad. First weekend, I've been traveling a lot, so first weekend in London, so it was quite pleasant actually, just to sort of relax a little bit. But eat some good food and relax. I think it's always important.
That's good.
Yeah, other than that, how about yourself? I'm recovering. I did that run on Thursday, didn't I? So.
Yeah. Well, now we got to recover from that gold short that we got stopped out on.
Yeah, I mean, I think something that I'm also testing is essentially whether it was possible to enter. I mean, how close I can get to the 8 o'clock open here and enter. And that's something because I noticed I missed quite a few good moves just after the open. And I usually have a window where I don't trade for at least 15 minutes after the open because of the volatility.
Makes
But
sense.
I realized I was leaving quite a lot of money on the table. So this week, I'm going to be testing it with live, the concept of actually putting orders in just before the open, using the open volatility as a catalyst. So that gold trade did not work at 8 o'clock here in London, but the DAX trade did. So it's kind of an interesting payoff there in that instance. But we can have a look at both of them just to sort of show the setups.
The problem is, I mean, you can let me know what your entry points and stuff were, because as soon as I start sharing your screen, people can't hear you for whatever reason. I don't even understand it.
Fine.
We're gonna have that fixed soon as we have the London producer, which, by the way, chat, is hired now. So starting next week, we should be golden. But what were your entries on those trades? Nice. I can mark them on the screen.
Yeah, fair. So the gold I got in at pretty much 599.
Oh, so we had almost the same entry.
Yeah, so pretty much the same entry. 599 was my entry. Stop loss was a bit higher. I think just
57,
about
right?
57. So 657 was stop loss, and target was just the lows. The low of actually I targeted 448.
Yeah, so similar target as well. So it was mainly just,
but as I said,
the trend line break to the upside that made you get out, or what was it?
Correct. No. So we had the 61 pullback as well when we were looking to enter, didn't we? We had relatively good pullback, but it was the trend line. So that 15-minute trend line I had is where I placed the stop loss. So gave it a bit of room. So if it tested the trend line again, I'd still be okay.
Makes sense.
But it's clearly broken the trend line now, and I think that's kind of where your stop needs to be. It's generally a point in the market where obviously you no longer want to be in that direction, so no longer want to be short, but you might also start to consider the option of longs.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I think the break of that trend line was one of those sorts of levels where you might consider long, but certainly no longer consider the short.
Makes sense.
So that's where my stop was. But again, it's I've been up for two hours now already, so I've been listening to quite a lot of information, and there still seems to be a little bit of space for gold on the downside, which is why I thought maybe it's an option. That being said, I'm also looking at sort of slightly longer term charts, and if I was doing some analysis, I'm writing some reports, and I was having a look at gold on the daily. And I know it sounds crazy to look at gold on the daily, but it is all relevant because a lot of this is reactive to what's happening with regards to Fed Reserve, Trump's nomination for the new Fed chair, and how that's going to have an effect on monetary policy in the US, and then how that's going to have a knock-on effect on the strength of the US dollar, and therefore how that's going to have a knock-on effect on gold, metals, and equities. So I was tying all that in, and actually looking at gold on the daily chart is where I sort of started my day today. And it has
gold
bounced
on the daily is nuts.
Yeah, but it's bounced on a really nice line from the 4th of November. So if you just drew a trend line from that low to sort of where you've got there, the lowest point you've got
4th
there.
of November.
It's kind of
around here.
Yeah, so pretty much that low. No, to the right.
What do you mean? Oh, wait, this one you mean?
Yeah. So can you see that? It's touched it perfectly.
Yeah, true.
So on the back of that, maybe I was thinking, hang on, this is the bounce back up off that. So it's trying to work out what happens at that junction, what to do now. But like I said, it was a short-term short, but potentially we're looking longer-term, medium-term.
Makes sense.
Long.
Makes sense.
Yeah, similar situation in silver. So I've been looking at both of those.
I haven't even looked at silver. Silver's too crazy for me. I don't know.
Yeah, it's funny because I heard you talking about Bitcoin, for
Mm-hmm.
instance, and the way silver sold off was very similar to the big Bitcoin sell-offs. You know, we had exponential
Yep.
growth. So again, it'd probably be a daily chart for
Mm-hmm.
silver. If you had it on a daily, you'd see exponential
Let's
growth.
see.
The market essentially
Silver on daily. Yeah,
rapidly
yeah, true.
increasing the
True, yeah, yeah.
upside. An exponential growth is never really sustainable. We've always talked about that as analysts, what sort of growth you want to see for a sustained uptrend, and it's not exponential growth. You can see that right there. If you just drew basically trend lines from the left, you'll see the trend lines are getting steeper and steeper and
Yeah, yeah,
steeper,
yeah.
and that's exactly what happened in Bitcoin, where we had the initial sell-off from like 10,000 at 20,000, and then when we had the second big sell-off, it was exponential growth. It's people putting money there because they weren't so sure about what was happening, and then a sort of hang on a second moment, and that's pretty much what we had in silver and gold,
Yeah, true.
general metals. So I think a sell-off was in order, but it's sort of a correction. It is called a correction. It's just recalibrating to where it probably ought to be, and then the idea is that yeah, it may continue on its merry way to continue back up.
Why do you think?
It's the sort of thing that, you know, a lot of us that are trading short.
Why do you think that NQ and the metals? Oh, by the way, my NQ trade just hit TP. Nice. But why do you think that NQ and the metals are now back in sync? Because they were in sync for a very long time. Then they went back to like opposites, and now they're back in sync. Like, why do you think that happened?
Again, it's probably due to the main driving force, and the main driving force is effectively dollar. Dollar is the main driving force of equities. It's the main driving force of precious metals. Remember, all metals are priced in dollars, but also they're essentially offsetting the value of the dollar. And so it's a case of generally you'll find currencies inversely correlated to the market, to the equity markets, and you'd find currencies inversely correlated to gold. Very simply, if dollar goes up, gold should go down. If dollar goes up, US equities should go down. So they're inversely correlated generally. So they tend to move in similar fashion. Like you said, we kind of saw it slightly differing of late, and that's a little bit of the Trump effect.
I see.
That there's clearly a difference between retail investors and institutional investors, and a lot of gold. There's a lot of retail investment in gold. It's quite possible that institutional investors now are back on track with gold in terms of, yeah, we're still going to potentially look to long gold, for instance. But it's all just a reaction of Trump, and unfortunately, that's the sort of thing that people don't particularly like about him, is that he makes big moves, but it's very difficult to predict, and that's all we're doing as analysts, economists, is trying to predict.
True.
And the Fed Reserve tend to be relatively consistent. They don't want to scare us or surprise us, but understanding policy from fiscal policy. So if it comes from a government, it's called fiscal. If it comes from a central bank, it's called monetary policy. So fiscal policy, keeping up to date and understanding and predicting that is very, very difficult. So what you might have seen is that the retail world essentially took hold of the value of gold more so than the institutional, whereas now they're probably back in sync, is what I may think. Something like this.
Interesting. So, what do you think is gonna happen with gold over the next couple of days? Do you think it's gonna hold here and bounce, like, and actually come back up, retrace some of that Friday sell-off, or do you think we're gonna go further?
Yeah, I personally think that this has scope to be bullish, if I'm being honest. I think that what we've cleared out essentially taken us all the way back from the year. So the year gains. So January has been taken out. It's also why I'm a big fan of selling things. I don't know, I've been on the stream before in the afternoon, and I've often spoke about selling, being a bear rather than a bull. And again, it's often because things tend to happen quicker to the downside than accumulation. But I think the idea is, the reason I use an example, I mean, I still lecture at business schools, and I used an example that actually it takes longer to fall in love with somebody than to fall out of love with somebody. Think about that for a little bit. So it takes longer to sort of accumulate I don't know, love and interest in somebody based on dating to get to a level, but that can all go in an instant.
True.
You know, you're recently engaged, aren't you?
I am.
That didn't happen in 3 days. Congratulations.
It took only 10 years.
And
like,
so,
come on.
yeah, I think the idea is that. Okay, I didn't want to say it, but there you go. But Nick, after 10 years, Nick got engaged, proposed. But yeah, and that's the thing. You often then see like destruction and people sort of, you know, letting things go, and offloading happens at a much higher rate. And as you can see that in gold, for instance, up on a 4-hour or a daily chart. But January's wiped out. That's fine. I think it might be a recalibration. Now we're going to continue to resync essentially with equity markets, and yeah, I think that might then be that there is a bit of a push. It's a question, like I said, of this chap, what's his name, Kevin Walsh, that Trump is nominating, and he's potentially the lead runner for the Fed. Generally, he was quite a hawkish chap. That means he was in favor of increasing interest rates. Generally, increase interest rates, you're going to see equity markets sell off. But of course, for Trump to back him, he's now actually also pushed a little bit towards the Dutch, which means maybe cutting rates. Probably not many, but he will potentially cut rates. If he's doing that to get elected, who knows? And I think that's probably where there's a little bit of grey area here, is the fact that he initially was somebody that was quite in favor of rate hikes. He's now changed his tune to the extent of, yeah, maybe I'm going to be thinking about the cuts. And we don't know if that's actually prompted by a Trump vote, or if it's chicken and egg, if he decided to do that, then got the Trump vote, or Trump approached him and said, listen, I'm going to go for you as long as you then push this lower interest rate agenda. The reason Trump wants lower interest rates, guys, is very, very simple, okay? If the cost of borrowing is cheaper, people can borrow more money, and therefore it should help US industry. What it's going to do is potentially weaken the dollar, which is not ideal for people that import into the US. But if you're a US exporter, a weaker dollar is good because it means people can buy more of your product, which in turn increases the stock market. Okay, it's a really, really simple equation. If you're not sure how Trump's agenda of weaker dollar, stronger dollar, higher rates, lower rates, and that effect upon the market, guys, write it out. Because every time you sit in front of your desk, you need to be aware of, if Trump has said this, which might suggest that, what is its effect upon the market, short-term, mid-term, long-term? If you don't have that clear sort of train of thought every time you sit down, you're always going to be wondering and guessing. So have a little bit of clarity. It's a very simple equation in terms of effect upon equity markets based upon higher rates, lower rates, based upon Trump pushing certain agendas. Okay, so try and remember that. If you can get all that down, it makes life a lot easier for you every time.
And chat, if you didn't get that down, then just make sure that you rewatch the recording of this stream, because everything is always recorded and up on our YouTube. So definitely rewatch what Tank just said. By the way, Tank, I think we're on like a 1 or 2 second delay. By the way, I think you could feel like I'm talking over you sometimes, but actually on my end it's fine. But I think you're on a delay. But not that it's anything to worry about. Just so you know.
Oh, it's mine. Okay. Oh yeah.
It is what it is.
It's also gone a little bit blurry.
Yeah, Mr. Blurry. Gotta check your internet connection.
Oh no, but it's good to be in. It's good to be.
Maybe.
Do you think that's what it is? I've got the fastest internet that Sky can provide.
Maybe, you know what? Try stop sharing your screen, because we can't pull it up anyways. So that should give you some more bandwidth. That should help.
Yes, that's probably a good idea.
And then maybe let's see. But are you looking to take any other trades right now, or you're just with that DAX trade and that gold trade, you're pretty much done for this session?
Yeah, DAX is pretty good, so I'm happy. I'm happy with that. But again, it's come to a certain level where I don't like to trade around levels of uncertainty. Like, could it break? Could it bounce? I'm not sure. So it's come into a little level now where, yeah, for me that's not ideal. FTSE at the moment. So I trade a lot of European indices, by the way, guys. So the German DAX, the French CAC, so the French market, and the UK FTSE. So a bit of sideways. DAX just had that push off the open. It's come to a certain level now. So again, nothing really to do there. The French CAC is also
big drop on NQ right now.
So to be honest, oh yes,
30 points in a minute.
Yeah, and that just shows as well with your, you took that potential long on that bullish flag. It also shows that you need to have, again, even in that, you need to have relatively conservative targets. A lot of people try to get on board a move like that and try and take it right the way up to your 445, for instance. But again, it just shows, guys, when the market gives you a bit, take it and be grateful. Unfortunately, it seems to be a lot of people that are still trying to take those sort of, $5, $10, $15,000 profits.
I mean,
be happy with a nice bit of profit and start again.
Yeah, fair. I mean, I realized that a lot when I try to go for targets that are too large. The trade would go heavily in my favor and would actually be a nice profit that I could take, but then I don't, and then I tend to hold it too long instead of just killing the trade and going on to the next one. So I like going for like 25-point trades and even forget about the bigger move that it could make and be like, yeah, just fuck that and take 25 points regularly. You're gonna be very rich doing that.
No, that's it. I mean, the amount of one-to-ones that I've done with our live traders, we kind of have a conversation about how much would you happily make per week or per day, and it's such a conservative number. But I mean, it's like let's say $500 profit a day, 2,500 per week. Let's say you had a losing day. Let's call it 2,000 per week. Let's call that $8,000 per month in that instance. Let's say 2 bad days. Okay, let's call it $7,000 per month. Now, at the start of a month, if I offered you $7,000 per month for not much of your time, a bit of trading, a lot of people will take it. However, the amount of people that when they get into a trade, when they start trading, that 500 seems not enough. That 1,000 per day seems not enough, and they tend to go big. So for sure, be conservative, little and often. Back your skills. I think that's the thing for a lot of people, is that when they get in on a winning trade, they try and go really, really big because they don't think that they can get another winning trade. Whereas if you back your skills to take multiple winning trades, they don't always have to be huge.
True.
So I think that's something that a lot of people do, chasing losses.
I'm actually trying another short here on NQ. But what would you say, Tank? By the way, this is a 20-point stop for, I'm just setting this up really quick, for a 25-point gain. And I really like going for 25 points. I don't know what it is, but there's just something to it.
No, it's such a conservative amount in NQ, and I think that's the thing, is that you kind of back yourself. It's really difficult. The phrase I've always told people is, the less money you try to make, the more money you make. So the less greedy you are, you tend to do better. It's a really tricky concept, really.
Actually, but speaking of that, I do have a question. Something that I'm currently still learning. So I tend to trail my stop very, very quickly. I'll tend to trail my stop to break even, and then get stopped out, break even, and then it runs to TP, like the classic, right? So what are your thoughts around moving your stop break even and when to do it?
Yeah, so there's two reasons to trail a stop. To lock in profit, obviously that's the obvious one. But the second one is essentially to make you feel better psychologically. So it works in two ways. Locking in profit is literally locking in profit. And the second thing is it helps you feel a bit more confident. So it makes you enjoy your trading more if you can lock in profit. I know that for sure. But I think it's all it all should be based, in my opinion, on statistics. So, I had this chat with Celine when she was on actually by herself a few weeks ago. And we were talking about the fact that, some people never trail a stop loss. They just get taken at an original stop or original target. Now, I used to be like that because I used to have conservative targets. But I did some analysis and I realized that actually at a certain point, I can trail a stop loss because the odds of it coming back and going all the way to S1 are high. If it hits my trailed stop loss, odds are it's going to go to my original stop loss. So it was all done statistically for me, that I just observed what would happen if I did this, what would happen if I did that, and then work it out and say, okay, going forwards, I should. So for me, an option is that if I get to 80% to a target, I need to lock in 70% of profit, for instance. Because if it goes to 80% and turns, odds are it's going to come.
I mean, this is right now, the trade that I'm in is the perfect example, right? It just came 2 points away from my from my target. And usually in the past, right now, I would trail my stop to break even just to not let it stop me out. But then it would hit break even and then run to the target. So I'm trying to not do it if there's no real valid reason that it broke structure or anything and is now actually going to go to my full stop loss. Yeah. So this is literally the perfect example right now what we're seeing on screen.
Perfect. I mean, use it as data, because I think the break-even conversation is the one we have the most, is when can I move to break-even? Basically, people want to see it as a free trade as soon as you can go to break-even. So for me, the simple idea is if you enter a trade and it's in your favor, how often is that entry level tested? And often it is, because usually you enter through a level of relevance. So if you went short through a level of support, let's say, the odds are that the market will retest it as a level of resistance and potentially stop you out if your stop was there. So I think it's a case of having a look at what extent do you need to be in profit, whereby the market will not come and test your break even. And for some people that could be 50% to target, some people that could be 20% to target, some people that could be, 60% to target. So I think that's another thing that we do, is that I always give an entry space and time to retest. So as soon as I enter a market, if it goes into profit, I always give it a bit of time to retest the entry level. That's actually why I disappear. That's why I go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym today because I'm going to come on here with you. But that's generally why I go to the gym or get out and do something, is because that initial in the profit and pulled back to entry, it makes it feel like you failed. But quite often for me, more often than not, it will then continue down to target. So I need to leave it space to retest and then work out when it will not retest. And if it does retest the entry, the break even, will it then go on to my stop loss? So that's the sort of bit of data you need to have. Here, for instance, I'm guessing you're out
still in. Our stop loss is 98.75. So it's probably going to take me out.
Okay.
That's obviously frustrating, right? Because you're 2 points away from TP, 25 point TP, so you're worth 23 points in profit, and then it comes back up and stops you out. It's frustrating, but stopping you out at break even and then running to TP is kind of like almost even more frustrating. So trying to work this out.
Yeah, I get that. So this is the thing. I think you've got to do it as percentages to target. is my point. So if you had taken 23 points and you had 2 more to take, in my opinion, you have to then reassess what is your current in the moment risk to reward ratio.
So that technically at that point,
So
the risk is 43-point loss to a 2-point win.
Yeah, and if you reassess in that moment, that sounds crazy.
That is true.
Doesn't it? So I think what you do is, once you've given it space to retest, and that's almost as soon as you've entered the trade, is giving it that space. Then once you approach your target, if you get to 23 points, I personally am putting a stop loss at 20 points.
Okay, so you're like trailing super aggressively.
Yeah. In that instance, I'll arbitrarily trail it tight.
Interesting.
But I also go for minimum 1.4 to 1, which means I always risk £1,000, and if I'm targeting 1,400, that means I'm targeting a minimum £1,400. Now, if I find myself at £1,300 profit, I'm allowed, in my book, to take the profit, take it and walk away. To be honest, so if I see it, if I'm there, because I've covered the 1-to-1, I've covered the initial risk. So I think if you target better than 1-to-1s, which I think you generally do,
I do,
don't you?
I mean, anywhere between 1-to-1 to like 1-to-2 is what I usually take.
Okay, fine. So if you're taking a 1-to-1, I don't believe you really have the right to take profit early, because that will then be a less than 1 risk to reward ratio over a long period of time, which is not healthy. So if you're doing anything above a 1-to-1 and you see that you're a point away from your target, I personally just take the profit, and I don't even, if I'm watching it, I mean, I don't faff around for that extra point. I say, okay, I'll take that. Thanks.
But isn't it like you're stealing from yourself? Because if the target hits, like, what was the reason why you closed the trade? It's like, for me, it's like when you're running a marathon and 10 meters before the finish line, you're like, let me stop here. It's enough.
Yeah, because I think the odds, I think it's a case of, so our targets, if our targets are relevant levels, or if you're targeting something, like I said, of relevance, then the odds are that there's going to be orders, buy or sell orders around that level. And if there are buy and sell orders around that level, often what it means is that the market doesn't reach that level, because there might be a big order, before you even get to the level that absorbs your order. So I think the idea is, we have this phrase, don't be a dick for a tick. And it's kind of the case that if you can leave 1 pip on the table to guarantee the win, I think a lot of people would do that all day long. Leave a point on the table to guarantee the win. So basically, put it this way, if you were 100 meters away from the end of the marathon, and I said to you, don't finish it, Nick, but I guarantee you will have won this race. You are the winner. But if you try and do that next 100, 10 people might overtake you. A lot of people say, yeah, fuck the 100 meters. I'll take the win and do another one next week.
Yeah, so true.
It's a bit tricky like that. But I think the way that I alleviate all these questions is having very conservative targets, but not managing my trades. So this gold trade that we just spoke about is probably the first trade. These first 2 trades are probably the first couple of trades that I've generally watched from start to finish in a good couple of weeks. Interesting. If I'm being honest.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I know you do it because you're on stream.
Yeah, we have to watch it basically. Like, I'm forced to watch my trades.
No, I know that's often a difficulty with a lot of streamers, is that the way they trade by themselves is actually really good, but then when they're in front of an audience, it adds extra anxiety, a bit of stress, a bit of pressure. It also works the other way, that some people trade better in front of an audience because people are watching and they have to practice what they preach. Yeah, true. And they can't get the rules. So it has pros and cons of being in front of an audience. It increases accountability, which is always important, but it can also increase, peer pressure.
Yeah, definitely. I've felt both, honestly. Like, I've had moments where I realized, okay, I am trading better because people are watching. But then I also had moments where I'm like, yeah, okay, I traded way worse because people are watching. So both happened, both experienced so far.
Yeah, I think, you know, I've spoken to quite a few of our streamers and our team, and I think something that's important is to just keep a diary of that. So even those of you at home, if you're trading by yourself, still keep a diary, because you need some sort of feedback. If you're not keeping a diary or writing anything down from a day's trading, odds are you're not going to learn anything from that day's trading. You might think about it in the evening and a bit tomorrow, but by Thursday, most of the lessons that I've learned from today, by Thursday I would have forgotten. So it's something that even you guys and people at home can always do, is just write down the things you did well and the things you could have done better. And if you did that for each day, and it takes you, what I reckon personally, it takes me 1.5 minutes to do that.
I do that too, by the way.
The things that you did well, the things you did well and the things you could have done better. If you do that on a daily basis, write it down. So tomorrow when you open up the page, you have a look and you see what you did well, try and emulate that, see what you could have done better, try and improve upon that. And then you take those lessons through the week to the end of the week. And then you take them to the following week, and then you take them to the following week, and then you take them to the next month, and you take them to the second quarter, then you take them to 2027. And if you continued with that sort of process until 2027, odds are you're executing, you're doing things pretty perfectly. So it's a little thing to do, but it seems really simple and archaic. But, you know, guys, don't underestimate the power of notepads. So that's my notepad from this morning. I've already taken two pages of notes
just this morning.
Okay.
What was your main takeaway this morning? I got stopped out, by the way, in this trade. So this is like a perfect example, right? Coming like 2 points away from TP, then getting stopped out. It's like boo.
Yeah, I think that is a good example. And I think probably for me, like I said, if I got to 2 points to a target, and it shouldn't be 2 points, it should be done as a percentage. So if you're targeting, I don't know, 20 points, let's look at it as a percentage really. It's 20th, isn't it? So if you're a point away, in my opinion, you should be allowed to take that.
I need to dabble around with that for sure.
Yeah, and the thing, and that's the thing. What we find, and you know, like I said, I've lectured in this, so psychologically, apparently, this is a thing, is that men, especially, apparently more than women. It's a generalization, so don't bite my head off. We have a little bit more of a pride function, and therefore we're more likely to make sure we hit the target. So watch it to the target because we chose that target. Whereas what you often find, and this is the thing, like I say, guys, I'm not just coming from nowhere, by the way. I have lectured in the concept of women in trading and women in finance. So I have gone to girls' schools around the country. I have done this at business schools. I had also created a women in trading scholarship to try and get more females into trading and finance. And the reason being is that there's a slightly different thought process in terms of mechanically, in general, on average, but there's also a different type of emotional capability. And one of the things that has been found by multiple scientists is that women have a greater ability to, you might not think it, but to concede when they're wrong. Okay, maybe not in arguments, but certainly in markets. But they have a stronger ability to concede when they're wrong. And what they can do is, if they have targeted a certain level and they see that the market is maybe flirting with that level, they'll just thankfully take the profit and say, okay, let's take that. We've done well. We've had a good run. Let's start again. Whereas what they found on the average guy would say, no, fuck it. We're getting to that target. We had a target. We're going to get to that target. And then there's that phrase, cutting off your nose to spite your face. So they want to try and put together the idea of, you know, how the average man might approach markets, but put that combine that with how the average woman would approach markets, and then you have the perfect storm of emotional capability, maybe a bit of brashness, a bit of arrogance, a bit of risk adversity, and then you actually create the best funds. You know, I'm looking on. I've got Bloomberg here on the TV, and you know, the head of Rabobank, which is a big bank in the UK, the head of the FX desk is a lady called Jane Follier. I've met her several times, and she's the head of one of the biggest FX desks in London, and she's a very sort of calm and very sort of, yeah, okay, maybe we got that wrong kind of lady, and she's the head of the FX desk. So, you know, you couple people like that with people that are brash and they're sort of like, yeah, let's go for it. Come on, let's go, balls in, all that sort of jazz. You get the perfect storm. So yeah, we need to try and combine the two, in my opinion. And I think one of the things of, you know what, let's take the profit here, I'm happy with this, is something that we could do a little bit more of, rather than sort of saying, I've got a target there, I'm taking 25 points, I came here for 25 points, I'm having 25 points.
Yeah, I see. Well, I definitely gotta, you know, figure this out. So to find the optimal system for me that actually works. But definitely interesting, super interesting.
I guess, but I mean, this is a perfect piece of data for you, isn't it? Yeah, it is. This is a piece of data that says, you know, had I taken it early, 2 points to target, then I would have taken the profit. Or had I trailed a stop loss 2 points behind current price, then I would have got stopped out, but for what, 22 points profit. That's 22 points profit. And then you just continue that with almost every trade you take. And then you work out, hang on, should I keep my stop loss where it is, or do I have the right statistically to move it? Because when everybody, you know, all my students, all my clients, all the traders that I've worked with, even in a professional space, when they said, oh, I do this now, I asked them why. And the answer to that why better be statistical analysis. It can be a bit of emotional because it makes me feel, or because I like to do, but also it has to be backed. Probably 80 to 90% of the backing has to come from statistical analysis, from back testing and saying, well, when I did this X amount of times, percentage of times this happened, X amount of percentage of times this happened, therefore I'm making this change. Fine, perfect. Yeah, I think it's, you know, you take so many trades a day, Nick. I generally think in a fortnight's time, by the end of not this week but next week, you'll probably have enough data whereby in week 3 of February you can make a really clear, informed decision as to whether you pull a trade early, 2 points to target, or whether you trade a stop loss to make it a 1-to-1. So when you get to 2 points to target, your stop loss is trailed to make it a 1-to-1.
But you would only do that. You would only do that if the R multiple is more than 1, like 1-to-1. Because as soon as it's 1-to-1,
me personally,
as soon as it's 1-to-1 and I do trail, and then I get stepped out at, like, let's say 0.7-to-1, it's not going to be smart.
Correct. That's a rascal move. So in my opinion, you can do that once you've covered your initial risk.
Makes sense. Yeah, in this case, this would have exactly added up. Like, I would have trailed my stop to exactly the 1-to-1 target, actually.
So this would have been a perfect case for, yes, I should trail my stop to make it a 1-to-1 when I'm 2 points away.
It's certainly something I can and will observe over the next couple weeks, where I just literally focus on just that. Like, what happens when I trail, what happens when I don't trail. And then I'll have more data in like 2 to 3 weeks, and probably we're gonna have another London stream where you hop on, and then I'll show you.
Yeah, and you know, your text. I mean, you don't need to be tech savvy, but it's just an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. So all you need to do is just have an Excel spreadsheet with the different outcomes, and just put a 1 in each outcome, and then it tops it all up, and then it creates the information for you, and then in black and white, after 2 weeks, X amount of trades, X amount of data points, you should have a pretty clear idea of what the best going forwards, and then test it in week 3, and it would be really interesting to see. There's a few questions here I'm seeing. Sort of, why is it not smart? Because it makes bad. Yeah, taking profits early without covering your initial risk isn't a good idea, because it gives you a risk-reward ratio on average of less than 1 to 1, which isn't brilliant. You're going to have a hit rate of obviously much better than 50-50. So try not to get into the habit of that, team, of risking more than you're willing to
but
pay.
as soon as it's over that, you can trail, because it's still going to be at least a 1-to-1.
Correct, in my opinion, and that's why I have a minimum risk-reward ratio of 1.4, because it means, well, 1.35, because it means that if ever I'm very near a target, I know I've automatically covered my initial risk, which means, if I'm heading out, I can take the profit. Thank you very much. If I want to trade a stop loss super aggressively tight, odds are it might get stopped out. Again, I don't care, because I've definitely covered.
How did you?
Or if it continues to target.
How did you come up with 1.35?
From, I guess, about 5,000 trades, and I think the idea was, I think I played around with, if I were to target roughly more, what would be my hit rate and therefore my overall return, and if I targeted slightly less, what would be my hit rate and therefore my overall return. But a lot of it is technically based again, so I like to target technical levels. So my trade on the DAX today, one of the issue, DAX has just completely gone. So from where I actually entered, the DAX has now gone up to completely double profit.
Same on gold. Like from where we entered, it's up 100 points. That's nuts.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So that's the thing. So I guess you can see that there. That what, by me going short gold and long DAX, you'd assume that talking about were sort of opposing ideas, weren't they? But it shows that they're now moving in sync, which is essentially how they should be. So it's a good thing now, because it hopefully means that with all this chat about a new Fed chair, that we might get a little bit more consistency in markets. They might go back to sort of normal ways of moving. But yeah, one loss and one win with good risk reward ratio tends to result in basically it's a minus £1,000 and it's plus a 2,800.
Yeah.
So a net profitability of 1,800.
Yeah, basically. For me today was pretty similar. Like I had one win and one loss, and I'm up $100. So it was pretty much 1-to-1 on both.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. And that's again one of the reasons that it's healthy to not do 1-to-1, to do a little bit more than 1-to-1s, because if you lose a win, you end up up.
True.
Which is always
true.
Which is always a pleasant situation to be. But good chat's relatively busy.
The chat is always busy in the London session. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. I remember we were talking about this a little while ago, and it's flying now. Well done, Nick.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks for coming on. It's actually already 9:30 UK time. That's crazy. We're flying.
And it flies when there's a couple of years, isn't it?
It's insane. It's actually insane. But thanks, Tank, for coming on. Always a pleasure. And chat, unfortunately, we didn't hit the like goal. So yeah, we're going to do a giveaway again tomorrow. Make sure you tune into the New York stream at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time today. And then, of course, tomorrow, 8 a.m. London time for another London session stream. Put a W in the chat if you loved the stream. Put an L in the chat if you absolutely hated it. I wish you a good time, and we'll see each other in the New York stream today. Peace out.